Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. Thank you so much for being here, as always. And we're going to perform a pick a card or pick a set of cards based on the object you choose that most resonates with you. We're going to do this for the new year, 2020, and we're going to focus on money and how you address your money, your income, your investments, and savings, expenditures, what have you. So you're going to pick an object, and that's going to determine what set of cards that we're going to read for you. So we have the piece of pine, we have the piece of wood, we have the pine cone, and then we also have the quartz crystal. And then obviously if you don't pick the pine, you're going to fast forward to the section that represents the object that you chose and the reading. All right, so let's start with the pine. Get all this over here out of the way. So we have some room. All right, let's do this. So we begin with the pine. So if you chose that, this is going to be your reading and how to address your monetary situation going into 2020. So our first card is going to be the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is reversed. We're going to have the Justice card reversed. And we end this initial spread with the Page of Pentacles. So immediately I'm feeling that coming into 2020, getting out of 2019, haven't really had a balanced budget. So, there's either more money going out than coming in, not really saving enough, not really having a stockpile for a rainy day, and not really investing a whole lot. And, that might not be your fault. But I'm looking at the Eight of Pentacles here reversed, and to me that's telling me that you're actually in a position where you can have enough intake and cover all your bills and actually provide balance. And this is also apparent with the Page of Pentacles. So now is the time to start balancing the budget, to start focusing on the position you currently have, the career you currently have, and actually making decisions, making a balanced budget for the household where you can share all the information with others, make sure you guys are on the same page, and come up with a budget that makes sense for everyone where you can save that money for a rainy day or for vacations or things that, would provide a better quality of life for everyone as a whole. Okay? Let's go below the surface, kind of see where that takes us. We have, what happened? We don't go below the surface with that. So we have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is reversed. We have the Seven of Swords reversed. And then we have the King of Cups upright. So immediately with the Seven of Swords, we talked about communication up here with this initial spread. I don't think someone's being deceptive in the household, but I don't think you're sharing all the information about where you spend your money, maybe how much money you make. So it's been hard to kind of balance a budget and have something where everyone is on the same page, where everyone benefits. And I think someone's not sharing the information, right? They might get tips at a job, something like that they don't tell you about their tips, or they don't tell you what they spend money on. If they pay cash for it, there's no record. And this needs to start happening. You need to start sharing the information. Now, with the Queen of Cups here, this is very influential. The Queen is always influential, and that being reversed, I'm also seeing that you don't really have a lot of influence over your income, right? So you might be on a salary, fixed income, you only can work 40 hours a week, no overtime, something like that. So you don't really have any influence over additional money coming in. But, your King of Cups upright would signify that you do have the authority. You see the stormy seas in the background. You do have the ability to make decisions, to balance that budget, to share the information that needs to be shared so that everyone can benefit and make sure that your expenditures don't outweigh your income. Okay? And we'll go above the surface, and we have Temperance upright. we have the Ace of Wands reversed, and then we have the Seven of Swords come up again. So once again, I can't stress enough that sharing information, sharing how much money you have, making sure you're putting everything into the family pot, if you will, and letting people know what you spend your money on. Collaborating on the budget, on income and expenditures, on investments and savings is necessary for this thing to work. Now, the Temperance card would signify having the patience, taking the time, making sure that everything remains balanced within the household, within the budget. And the Ace of Wands reversed here on the top would also kind of play back into the Eight of Pentacles. Now is not your time to try to make your mark. That's the Eight of Pentacles card, right? Now is not the time to branch out, start something new. Focus on what you currently have and build a system that makes sense for you and everyone involved. And I think it will become fruitful. You will be able to put money back. You will be able to go on vacation. And you will be able to make everything work in a financial sense. Now let's close this out with the final three cards. And we're going to have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. We're going to have Judgment reversed. And then we end it with the Five of Swords upright. So immediately, Nine of Pentacles being reversed, this is kind of a luxury card. You need to reel it in, spending on things that don't really matter. You don't need another pair of shoes. You don't need a new coat. You don't need 10 pairs of jeans. You don't need to eat steak dinner every single night. So reel in those extravagant expenditures and make sure you're making sound fiscal decisions. And with the Judgment card being reversed as well, this is, that's resurrection, that's change, that's alchemy. And if you don't reel that in, then there's not going to be any change. There's not going to be change in your pocket. You have to make this conscious decision not to spend money on stupid crap that's not going to benefit you, right? And with the Five of Swords, this is information. And Five of Swords, we're talking about conflict. You're going to have to sit down and probably have an argument. This is going to, you open the books, right? If you open the books and everyone in the household sees what each person makes, what they bring in, and you share what each one of you contributes and how you spend your money, then you're all going to be on the same page. You can balance that budget, put money back, and enjoy life a little bit more than you did in 2019. So this conflict here, this might just be a constructive argument and going in. I don't think there's going to be fighting. You just need to pull the Band-Aid off, let everything heal, and make sure everyone's on the same page going forward. Okay? All right. So share that information. Don't branch out, try to do something different. Focus on what you currently have. Have some patience, share that information, and build that budget. It's going to matter. All right. So let's close out the reading for the Pine. And I'll put this over there. And then we'll start our next reading for those who picked the chunk of wood here. Okay? So our chunk of wood reading, if you chose this, let's start it off. First card is going to be the Ten of Cups reversed. It's going to be the Page of Swords upright. We're going to end the initial spread with the Lovers. And the Lovers is upright as well. So I'm feeling that there hasn't been a whole lot of joy. And if we're talking about money here, you probably haven't had a whole lot of time to do things that you think provide you joy. Taking those weekend trips, going out to eat in the middle of the week to break up the monotony. And I think you've been focused on providing experiences with money, right? And we all have to remember, and this is very elementary, that money doesn't buy happiness, right? So don't worry about that. And this is signified by the Lovers. So if you're in a relationship, you're in a household, love doesn't revolve around money. You're going to have wonderful experiences. Take the time, make sandwiches, go to the park, go to the creek or your place and do whatever and spend money wisely. I don't think, I think you've kind of focused on going on extravagant vacations. I think you're going out for maybe some steak dinners or cocktails and spending $100 in the middle of the week. And while it's important to break up the monotony, I don't think that is benefiting you fiscally in the household, or if you're by yourself. That's not a good thing, because I don't think you really have the money to do that. Now the Page of Swords here is going to provide a little bit of clarity here. You're gonna this is new information, new communication, new kind of way of thinking, and I believe that you need to start getting a grasp on what money is coming in and what your expenditures are. So stop spending money on trying to buy happiness and create experiences. Focus on the emotional part of everything in the house. Don't no one's gonna walk away, no one's gonna have a bad time. There's not gonna be any love lost because you can't have a 10-day vacation in the Bahamas. We don't need to rack up credit card debt. You need to think about things and focus on the emotional aspects of the relationship or the household more than you're focused on money to try to substitute that for joy. Because I think there is joy and there is love there. So this Page of Swords is a new way of thinking about your money. And we'll go from there and go below the surface and kind of see where this takes us. So we have Temperance reversed. And then we have the Five of Wands reversed. And also the Four of Wands reversed. So I think there's been quick decisions made. I think you perhaps have made decisions, reserved hotel rooms, made reservations for dinners, went out and bought things without the knowledge of your partner or of everyone else that's involved fiscally in the household. So you're making quick decisions without involving everyone else, right? There's not a whole lot of collaboration. We have the Five of Wands reversed. You're not sharing and bouncing ideas off of each other about actually what you want to do, what makes you happy. Maybe taking a weekend vacation every once in a while instead of that 10-day vacation or the week vacation. So you're not talking about how money's affecting all of you, right? And because of that, there's not a lot of balance and harmony in the home. So I think someone in the house is making decisions based on just instinct and gut feelings and trying to replace or trying to create some kind of joy or happiness when honestly they just need to be there, and you need to be around each other. Like I said, making sandwiches, bringing lunch to work every day. Not. I really feel like there's just I wanted to say overcompensation, but over expenditure for no reason. You might assume that other person loves doing all this, and of course they love it, but because it's with you. It's not because of the money. So they don't need extravagant gifts or vacations or meals or anything like that. New cars. This is creating friction because you don't really have a whole lot of money. And money is, the cause of a lot of stress and anxiety. Well, let's go above the surface. And we have the World card reversed. We have the Fool reversed. And then we have the Five of Wands upright. So this kind of mirrors what was below the surface. You need to start sharing information, sharing those ideas about what makes you happy, collaborating on where you're going to spend your money, what you're going to do with it. And with the World card here being reversed, you need to set some new rules. There needs to be some new ground rules set, and just huge conversation and kind of reevaluating the whole relationship in the house or the partnership. I really feel like this is about a couple, and it could be a couple of friends, but if you're sharing resources, meaning you're sharing incomes, you need to set some new ground rules, right? And you've been foolish. So you've been very foolish with your money. You've been foolish with the way you assume other people feel about how you're using those resources to purchase things. And that needs to stop. There needs to be ideas and collaboration and bouncing, you know, the thoughts about how the money should be spent, saved, and experiences created, and go from there. All right. We're going to end the reading with the Hermit, and the Hermit is reversed. We have the Empress upright, and then we have the Death card upright. So there hasn't been a lot of inner work going on here. You know, you haven't really gone inside and kind of toiled over what makes you who you are, what makes the relationship work, and it's all been external. So it's an external perception. You haven't really had a lot of communication about, you know, honestly, the relationship. And you've tried to substitute spending money on things to try to buy happiness, when actually I think with the Empress upright, there is so much love involved with this household, with this relationship, with everyone involved that is affected by money, that all you need to do is take a look inside them by asking them questions, by having conversations, and take a look inside you and share information, right? And, you know, with the Death card here, that is going to transition in to an experience with the relationship where it is about love. It is about the lovers. It is about the home. You're going to have harmony in the home, in the household, and I think you're going to be fine. I don't think this is, you know, a situation where somebody's just spending money and there's not money to be had. I think that you have spent money to try to put a Band-Aid on something where you're not really, I don't think things are going bad. You know, I don't think you're draining a bank account, but I think you're spending money on ridiculous stuff when you actually need to focus on the emotional aspect of the relationship or the household. Okay? So this is not something where someone's draining savings accounts doing this. They're just trying to replace an experience of emotion with buying an experience, with an outpour of money that's unnecessary, right? You need to connect more on an emotional level. All right? So let's get rid of this one, and we will move on to our next set of cards, which is going to be the Pine Cone. So if you chose the Pine Cone, this is the reading for you. All right? And let's start this one out. So we have the Queen of Swords reversed. We have the Strength card upright. Love that card. And then we have the High Priestess. High Priestess. If I could speak, it'd be amazing. So I don't think you've had a whole lot of control over, you know, with Strength here. So you know something's wrong financially. You're someone that always listens to their gut, always someone that has a lot of intuition about what's going on within the house, within the household, with finances. You are the strong one, and you know this card shows the lion in the face of the cobra. Like each one of them could kill each other. And I'm not talking about, you know, fighting inside the household, but I think that there's different ideas about what you guys are doing with money. And you feel that you have no influence over where the money goes, what it's invested in, you know, even down to groceries. I don't feel like you even have any kind of influence over what groceries are purchased. I think people just, someone in this relationship is making a decision based on what they think is best for you. And you know that something's going on, and I don't feel yet as though it's deceptive, but there's some different thoughts, right? There's some arguments kind of waiting to happen, but I think you're standing by, you're remaining strong, you're trying to, you know, you have the infinity sign on the Strength card, you're trying to remain just kind of even-keeled, thinking that this is going to work itself out, and just letting the other person take control of everything, and you don't really have a lot of say in it. But you know that something is going on that you're kind of unaware of. So you don't have all the information, right? Let's go below the surface and kind of see where this takes us. We have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. We have the Six of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Ten of Swords reversed. So there's a lot of money involved here. I think someone has, in this Ten of Pentacles reversed, someone has control over all the money. Definitely. And you feel that maybe this is a relationship where they're kind of giving you an allowance. Like they only give you X amount of dollars a week, or there's something that it's not really agreed upon. Like you haven't said, hey, I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars. You're out of the loop completely here. You're out of the loop. They have cut you out of the loop with the Ten of Swords being reversed. You don't really know what's going on. You might not know how much money this other person makes. You might not know how much money they spend, what's in the bank account, and this is a problem for you. And I feel like it is kind of an allowance situation, like a really, really messed up situation, especially if you're in a marriage and a relationship where you're supposed to have shared resources. Someone's not sharing. Someone's not giving you all the information, and it's taking its toll on you. And it's kind of a mind F, if you will. But something's not right. Something's going on that is a bigger picture than them just not giving you all the information. Let's go above the surface. So we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is reversed. We have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And then we end it with the Strength card reversed. So I think you're tired. I think you're tired of this whole situation. And I think you feel like you don't have any choices. This might be a situation where if you've brought it up, we talked about the lion in the face of the cobra, where each one has their own strength, their own kind of power in a different way. You don't feel like you have a voice. You don't feel like you have a choice. You're kind of told to maybe keep quiet, or you assume that other person just doesn't want you to ask any questions, and it's become tiresome for you, and it's been a burden on the relationship for sure, and it's making you think of kind of going out on your own. So this might be someone that stays at home, or this might be someone that makes equal amount of money as the other person, but you kind of hand them your paycheck, or you have direct deposit, and you don't have any idea like what's being saved, what's being spent, or anything like that. And I think you're thinking about, I don't think you're thinking about leaving. I think you're thinking about having your own bank account, having your own money, kind of separating things out. Maybe you've started your own bank account on the side just to kind of put some savings back, but you are making decisions and using your intuition to know that something's not right here. And I do see that you're kind of either thinking about holding back some money, having a separate bank account, and making sure you know where your money's going. Let's close out this reading. We have the Prince of Pentacles, which is going to be the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Wands reversed. The Knight of Pentacles was also reversed. And then we have the Four of Cups here. So the Four of Cups is you're kind of in stagnation here, and while you have intuition that something's not right, I feel like you're not seeing what's going on right in front of you, and it might be something that you just kind of don't care about, because it doesn't really. It's not like you're living in squalor or anything. It's just you've kind of turned a blind eye to it. You haven't really, with the Eight of Wands, there's not a whole lot of movement on anything, and that would signify that kind of the stagnation here. And this is taking a toll on the relationship. Romance and things that you love about that other person is being affected by this. I think that you don't enjoy a whole lot of time together, or you don't have a whole lot of time together to watch, romantic comedies or enjoy life, go see art, go out in nature. We're talking about the Knight of Pentacles here. That's romantic. That's slow moving. That long term relationship. And it's having its effect on the relationship, and not a whole lot of forward motion here for sure. And it's made you kind of numb. And yeah, I think you need to start asking some questions. I think you need to collaborate, try to get some information out of the other person. They know you're highly intuitive. They know the person that they're with, for sure. And they know that something's going on. And I don't know if this is necessarily deceptive. I don't know what they're hiding, if anything, or if they're just really kind of a controlling person. It may be ego. It may be that, we have the Strength card in here twice. It may be something to do with ego, where they want to be in control, and it's not necessarily about holding you down or suppressing you. They just, they just have this need. They have this part of their ego that up until this point has required them to do this. So I think you need to start caring, start having a conversation. Let's at least talk about things so you can kind of have an influence on what's going on financially in the household. And I think that romance will return, and I think everything's going to be okay. But it's time to talk. It's time to have that conversation. All right. Okie doke. So we're going to move on from the pine cone, and we'll do our final spread. And our final spread is going to be the quartz crystal, if you picked that. All right. So what is going on with money for our quartz crystal people? So we have the Eight of Swords upright. We have the Devil upright. And we have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is reversed. So immediately with the Devil coming out, I think you're spending your money on a lot of habits. Probably, this is someone that instead of having some cocktails at the house, always goes out and instead of buying a bottle of wine or buying a 6-pack of beer or whatever, how much alcohol you drink, is going out, and instead of spending that $15 to $20, you're spending $50 to $100 on an experience. You might be picking up new habits, smoking, and spending, gosh, what are cigarettes now, $7 or more a piece. You're doing things with your money that are some bad habits you need to break here. There's an outflow of money that is unnecessary, and with the Eight of Swords being upright here, you've created a situation for yourself where you feel stuck. So as with anything, if you have stress, you have anxiety, we try to put a Band-Aid on that as humans, right? We have a little alcohol or a little whatever to take the edge off, to provide that buzz, to distract us. And that also causes, depression. There's side effects of everything. And I think you're kind of in a spiral here, and you're creating a position for yourself where you can't get out of it. Now with the Six of Pentacles here, there's not really a whole lot of, you see the scales here. There's not a lot of balance. There's not a whole lot of balance at all with money. I think you're taking it down to the last dime, living paycheck to paycheck. But this is of your own doing. You're choosing consciously to make decisions that put you in this position, right? And you're throwing money away where you should be saving it. You might not be paying some of the bills that you have. You might be paying bills late, and it just causes more stress, more anxiety, which leads to more bad behavior with the Devil. You're making decisions that don't benefit you at all. They contribute to you being or feeling imprisoned. Now, let's go below the surface. We have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is upright. We have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is reversed. And we have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is upright. So you're very hard-headed. You're very stubborn. I think you're a hard worker. I think that you go to work every day and you bust your butt and you're good at what you do, right? And you're probably good at making money. Now, you're very passionate with that Nine of Wands. You're quick. Quick to do things. That passion, that fire. You're always down, but that's going to contribute to that devilish behavior, right? If someone wants to go do something, you're on board, right? You want to be the life of the party. You want to be there. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to do everything in moderation. I think you're always down for everything. You're someone that pushes everything to the limit, and I can definitely understand that. I can be that way sometimes, but it's contributing to a downward spiral, and once again, kind of self-imprisonment there. Now, with the Seven of Cups being reversed, you're not looking at your options. You're just kind of ignoring everything. So I think that you have some choices that you need to make. I think you need to focus on yourself and not just continue to tear yourself down or imprison yourself. And you've been ignoring this, and that makes a whole lot of sense if you're just kind of, like I said, putting that buzz band-aid on everything, right? So you're definitely, I'm not saying you're a bad person whatsoever. You bust your butt. Everybody respects you. You're a hard worker. You're a passionate person. Everyone loves being around you. But in your own time, you're doing things, you're putting yourself in position where it's contributing to a spiral. And that spiral's not up. So we have the, above the surface, we have the Three of Wands. And that's upright. We have the Death card reversed. And we have the Four of Swords upright. Immediately with the Four of Swords means you gotta take this down. Not one notch, but at least a couple notches. Way down. You gotta reel this in big time. You gotta look, have a little foresight here of what you are doing and how that contributes to this whole situation. And you have to realize that you have to make a change. You have to essentially go in and kill this version of yourself that is causing all these problems. I know that sounds brutal and weird, saying kill and yourself in the same sentence, but we all have deaths and rebirths, right? This is a cycle. You need to put an end to this cycle. You need to find a way to rest your mind. You need to find a hobby and quit spending and doing and yeah. And I don't even think that you're we're talking about money here. I don't think you're stressed about money. I think you have a lot of money, or you have the ability to make kind of any money, or enough money to do what you want, but you're spending your money on things that are destroying you, and they're destroying every part of you. They're destroying your physicality, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit, and your creativity, right? And I think you are a very creative person. You're a very passionate person. You could be someone that's a woodworker. I don't know why that kind of came in, but you're somebody that is very creative, absolutely, and you might even own your own business. But you're not dealing with things, and we're talking about money. Yeah, I think every time after work, you're the guy that buys beer for people. You're the guy that's like, hey, let's go. I'm gonna go home, work out, get dressed, and we're going out. And you also are the person that if you see someone down, that hey, let's go out. Let me buy you some beers. And you're probably pretty pushy with oh man, I'll be like that and have a beer. But you're just going, and I think you need to slow down and kind of watch what you're doing here. We're gonna close it out with the Sun. Sun's been reversed. Excuse me. You have the Queen of Wands reversed, and then you have the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is upright. So you're definitely a huge, passionate person. And I think you, once again, while you're good at your work and you're good at what you do, I don't think that you're in a position that it's feeding your passion. I don't think, you might be the person that runs things. You might have found a void in the market that makes a lot of money, but you don't really care about it. It doesn't do anything for you spiritually, creatively, or feed your passion whatsoever. And you're the person that has so much passion. And you can see with the sun being reversed here that this is squelching your passion and your inner fire. So I think if we're talking about money, I think you're in a position, you're in a job, you own a business, run a business that you do well in, but it does nothing for you creatively. It doesn't feed your creative spark at all. And instead of going home and finding an outlet for that, you just throw booze or something else on it and do things that don't benefit you. So you are in a vicious cycle. And I think it's time to find a job that does feed your soul, feed your passion, or at least find a hobby or an outlet. All right, so this wraps up our pick a card, pick a set of cards for money, for finances, and apparently jobs. And thank you for sticking around. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you want to show your support, by all means, subscribe. Leave any questions or comments. Get to them as soon as possible. And enjoy the rest of your day. And definitely have a wonderful year. All right? Take care.